It's a beautiful time again with you, friend, here on the Princess Amarachi show. How are you doing? Yes, I'm excited again to have you on today's episode on the Princess Amarachi show. Now, today, I want to ask a question, as always. How do you know if someone is proud? How do you identify a proud person? Quickly, you're going to tell me, let me guess, with the person's actions, right? But what about actions that seem to look like it's pride, but it's not pride? What if it's not pride? Well, I'm here to speak for some people who are falling into that mess where they are falsely accused of being proud or arrogant because some particular traits, characters, display, personality, physical appearances that they have, which in real essence really doesn't make up what pride is. So if you're that person, well, I'm here to speak for you. And after this, you're going to pay me for speaking up for you. And if you've also seen someone who's been in that experience, maybe we can share and rub minds together on this. And I'd like to know your comments on this just after I finish what I want to say. So I have a story to share. I had a classmate in school then who had this broad shoulder and physical appearance that made him look huge. And to make matters worse or better, he always wears a suit. I know the kind of appearance that gives you. And he has this walking posture that when he's working, it's as if he's going to intimidate everybody in the class. Coupled with the fact that he's kind of eloquent and he speaks well and he speaks confidently. So one of the days we were discussing and a friend was like, see, this guy is too proud. Look at the way he's walking. Look at the way he talks. And I had to ask, how do you use physical personality as a parameter for pride? Like, seriously? Are you trying to say that God didn't create this guy well or didn't create people well for having this kind of appearance? And I feel that's what a lot of people use to judge who is proud or not. You know, there's this word that said, don't judge a book by its cover. I know it's kind of hard not to judge without looking at the cover, but we need to go beyond the cover. If we really want to understand people, if we really want to make judgment and assessment, then we need to take time to go deep into the cover. So let's look at this. Some of the things that I feel that are not pride. Number one is eloquence and confidence in speaking. Someone needs to have a ground. It's good to have a ground. It's good for you to speak up. It's good for you to be assertive in your communication. Well, if you grew up in an environment or naturally you're reticent, it doesn't mean that everybody has to be reticent. Some people just learn how to be eloquent. Some people we are taught to be confident. Some people just have it as a personal trait. So being eloquent and being confident or learning how to speak up in situations, in events, in a group or gathering doesn't mean that this person is proud. You need to look beyond that. Well, I'm not saying that anyone that is eloquent is not proud. I'm not trying to make a general statement, but I'm saying that is not just the only parameter for you to judge if you must judge or assess someone to say he or she is proud. Now, another angle is the fact that walking posture or physical appearance doesn't make someone proud. How can you judge someone based on the fact that they walk in a particular way, or people who have broad shoulders and that makes them look like they're raising their shoulders high? How can you judge them just on that parameter that they are being proud, even when you've not interacted with them or got to understand the kind of person that they are? I feel walking posture, physical appearances are not enough parameters to judge someone to be proud or not. It's not even enough for you to say someone is humble because of their physical appearance or facial display. It is not enough. Don't you think so? I mean, look at you. If you look at yourself and if people begin to assess you based on everything that you have or based on their own understanding of a particular body type that is associated with pride, don't you think there will be a lot of proud people in this world? Well, thanks to God who made us all beautiful in His own way. Don't just use physical appearances, facial display, body type, walking posture to decide, assess, or judge someone to be proud or not. I mean, we are all made beautiful in God's own way. So if your body type makes you think that you're humble, it doesn't mean that the other body type, the person with a broad shoulder or the person who has a particular walking step, it doesn't mean that he or she is proud. You need to interact with people first, understand people first before you begin to judge whether they are being proud or they are humble. Now there's another tricky one, and that's the aspect of accepting compliments or rejecting compliments, or like being modest in receiving compliments. I feel some people think the way you accept, reject, or receive compliments determine if you're proud or humble. They're not totally wrong though, but let's look at it this way. You tell me that I'm beautiful or I did something good. That was amazing. I'm like, yeah, thank you. I knew it was going to be amazing. Now, some might feel like that was too proud of you. That's not what you should have said. You should have said, oh, I didn't know it was going to be amazing. Like, really? You don't know? I'm not saying you should glory in your achievements and think like, oh, you're all that matter and there was no help. You didn't get help from anyone. It's good to acknowledge the fact that you put in an effort into something. It's also good to acknowledge the fact that it's God that helped you. But if I decide to acknowledge it, it doesn't mean that I'm being proud. Okay, so you tell me I'm beautiful. I should now say, oh, I don't know. Are you serious? Are you saying that I'm beautiful? Really? Really? You don't know you're beautiful? Come on. So accepting compliments or rejecting compliments doesn't mean that you're proud. And turning down a compliment or trying to play modest doesn't mean that you're humble. So that's another angle you need to like clear your mind and redefine your mind on. So when you meet that your friend that takes in the compliment with all joy, or you meet that your friend that tries to be modest with the compliments you give, none of them is either proud or humble until you interact with them. That is not enough parameter for you to judge, assess, or say that someone is being proud or humble. Not that I'm giving you with parameters to go around judging people, but I'm saying these things shouldn't be how we judge people to be proud or humble. Now I got the fourth one. The fourth one is people championing a cause. People who like to lead, be in the front stage, and not proud people. Please, let's stop tagging people who naturally are leaders, or they like to speak up or to champion a cause, or be in the forefront for any event, occasion, movement, mission, or whatever. Those guys are not proud until you interact with their heart. The same way with someone who decides to stay backstage. It doesn't mean the person is being humble, because I can decide to stay backstage because of my personality. Maybe I'm shy. Maybe I don't want to be known. Maybe I don't even feel qualified. It might even be a case of a complex, of inferiority complex. And I can decide to take up this cause because I'm passionate about it, because I want things to be done right. So if you don't really understand why people do things until you get to know their motive, and if you don't know their motive yet, so you can't really judge whether they are being proud or humble. What I'm saying is that these are shallow means. They are shallow parameters for us to judge people. With that, we will not have a perfect understanding. We'll have a distorted perspective of what people are, of who they are, and what is in them. I'm saying that for us to interact with people, for us to have a better relationship with people, and not go on with biased or stereotypes of what pride is, we need to go deeper into relating with people. So what is it that makes up pride? What is pride in its essence? What is the real pride we're talking about? Well, I don't want to give a definition of pride, but I'm saying that pride is of the heart. I can fake humility to suit your own parameter. Okay, so you feel like if I accept compliments, it means I'm proud. Okay, I can decide not to accept it or be modest about it. But does that really mean that I'm humble? So pride is of the heart. Pride is of the motive. It flows from the inward to the outward. So until you know what's in the inward, you really can't judge what the person is doing on the outward. But what's more important is for us to enjoy our relationship with people. And if you feel someone is doing something or has a character or has a pride problem, what can you do? You just talk to your friend and be patient with the process as the person grows. So tell me, what other parameters do you think that people have used to judge you as being proud or humble? Or what other scenarios have you seen people use to judge or assess someone as being proud or humble? I'd like to get your suggestions, your comments, right in the comments below this video. But for me, don't judge someone to be proud because of the way they receive compliments. Don't judge someone to be proud because of their physical appearance or posture. Don't judge someone to be proud because they decide to champion a cause or be in the forefront. And don't judge someone to be proud because of the way they walk. So there are a lot of reasons, a lot of stereotypes that we have. I feel these are shallow and really gives us bias in a relationship with people. Do you find this episode interesting? Don't you think it is relatable? I'd like to get your comments on all these questions, loads of questions. But most importantly, tell me all the parameters that you think people use to judge whether someone is being proud or not. Yes, that's my own view on this. Let me get your view on this topic. Thank you so much for being part of today's episode. See you in the next episode, but until then, keep living within to without. Take care.